Hey, welcome back. Recently, I asked a group of woodworkers what they'd look for if they were going to build their ultimate router table. The responses that clearly stood out was table size, a way to lift the router, a fence with plenty of movement, with the ability to make micro adjustments, and lastly, a router that's got loads and loads of power. And some responses were just clearly too awesome. I've been spending the last month or so designing my ultimate router table for what I need in my workshop. For me, space is a huge thing. Unfortunately, I don't have as much space as a lot of other YouTubers do, mainly the American ones. So I had to build something that would incorporate loads and loads of storage for all my different tools and bits for the router. So I came up with this. It's on casters, so it can be easily moved around the shop and hidden away under my floating mitre saw station. It has a large surface for working on and includes the Triton TRA001 router along with a Kreg insert plate that fixes it securely into place. The table is in two parts, a front which has storage for all the bits and houses the safety on and off switch, and at the back it has 3 shelves and a cupboard which I need to build a door for. Now the fence is something pretty special. It also comes in 2 parts. The back portion fixes to the table and can be adjusted forward and back, and the front part of the fence, which includes a sacrificial fence, which can be adjusted to fit around the type of router bit you are using. The rear portion has a small handle. Loosening off these 2 knobs, you'll see why it is so special. Why is it so special? So say you've got a dado that you need routing out on the piece you're working on. That dado needs to be 19mm, but your router bits only go up to 18. So having the micro adjuster just makes it so much easier. Having the rear portion fixed into place, you always have that 0 to go back to if you make a mistake. And once you lock it all down, you can carry on routing. Unfortunately, I can't take ownership for this router fence. I'd love to, but the honours go to a guy I found on Lumberjacks. I'll leave all the description and the website to take you directly to the page in the description below. Now this build is going to be over 3 videos, so I highly recommend you clicking that subscribe button so you hear first when all my new videos are released. Now before handing over to that other really handsome guy, me, I'd like to mention the Maker Central event that's going to be taking place on the 5th and 6th of May 2018 at the NEC in Birmingham. The event is going to be hosted by NZ Woodworking, and I had the pleasure of meeting Nick at a recent tool event that I attended. I'll leave a direct link to his page in the description below, along with all the details for Maker Central. So without further ado, I would like to hand you over to me. Why, good morning everyone. Today is the day that I'm going to be making the ultimate router table. Yes, I finally got round to doing it. I've got all the Kreg inserts for the plates and everything for the router that I'm going to be putting in. I'm going to be using the Triton TRA001. Now this is a very, very powerful router. I really highly recommend it for the router table. Now unfortunately it is raining outside. Yeah, garden's a mess as well. I've got to put a decking in. That's been taking up a lot of my time recently. So, bit unorthodox, but today all the cutting is going to be made inside the workshop. Yep, I said that right. Inside the workshop. I really don't like doing it because I just don't have the floor space. But yesterday and this morning I've just blitzed it. Tried to clear as much floor space as possible. I put down some wood. There we go, on the floor. So hopefully that's going to accommodate the 8x4 sheets. Wish me luck! Right, so I've now cut all my pieces up that I need to make the actual table itself. Doing it inside was just so much harder because the space limitations. I just had to be on all fours. Yep, I already said that. So yeah, it's just a real arse really, just to try and sort of cut everything up. But it's all done now. What I'm going to start doing is I've worked out what all my pieces are. I've labelled them all up on my cut sheet. You can see that there. There's all my cut sheet and all my pieces. So I've labelled them all up now. So yeah, as you can see, I've written all over this. And yeah, so I now know where or what every piece is. So my original intentions was going to be using dados to help fix the pieces together. With MDF, I'm not even going to bother doing that. I'm just going to butt joint it, brad it, and screw it. So let's get on. Okay, so I've come up to a bit of a roadblock. Now I've got these shelves to put in place and I didn't exactly work it out very well when designing it. The trouble I've got is I've got two of these partitions to go in place and I haven't exactly got an easy way to fix them down. What I've come up with though is I'm going to use pocket hole screws on this edge and when the next one goes in again on there, just so when I want to rip or take it out or take it apart I can easily do so. Okay, so what's a pocket hole? Well, a pocket hole is something that you drill out using a jig like this. Now this is the Kreg pocket hole jig and you align it where you want to be drilling the holes using a special bit on your drill like this. You can drill through to create a pocket in the wood for where you can put your screw in to attach the two pieces of wood together. When you buy the jig, you'll have some of these screws that come with it. They're pan head screws and they've got a square bit for the end. You can go out and buy these. These are probably costing about the same as a normal screw, but to be honest, I've got so many screws lying around, I'd just use them instead. So these are really good, but today I won't be using them. So talking about the jig itself, it does have some adjustments that you can do to the actual jig itself. Depending on the thickness of the wood that you're going to be drilling into, you can set the depth on the back. I don't know if you can see there. It's got measurements all down the side. Now I've set this to 3/4 of an inch, and that's roughly the 18mm MDF that I'm drilling into here. You can go up to approximately 1.5 inches. When you drill, having set that to 3/4 of an inch, when you put the screw in, it will come out exactly in the middle of the wood. So you're not going to get any unevens or pressure from one side. The drill bit as well has a collar. Now this collar is also adjustable. Inside the box that it comes with, the drill bit sits here. Now there's markings along here either side, and you just reference that collar up to, again, the thickness of the wood. So again, I've used the 3/4 of an inch there. So as I said, Kreg do supply their own type of screws with a square head, and this is the bit that comes with the kit to drive them home. And there you have it. So which one of you fine people are going to point out that I made a mistake? This one was the last one of the batch coming off the sheet of MDF, and I sort of may have forgot to put in a curve size of 3mm in the software that I use. So this, over the course of about 4 cuts, made that this one was going to be about 12mm short. Oh well, all I do is I'll fill that with a bit of wood. He's going to get face framed anyway, so I'm really not that worried. Moving on. I'm unsure whether I pointed this out in a previous video, but to align the shelves in the right place, instead of measuring and nailing and screwing and whatever, making little blocks out of all the MDF offcuts really does help. That's what I've been using to separate all of these, everything. So yeah, just a little tip there. Nice and tight. Now, screwing into a side panel like this to try and find out where your shelf is on the other side is nigh on impossible without a tape measure. So, quick tip, get yourself one of these. Been doing it all throughout the video. Find out from the front where the middle of your board is. It's there. Using the square, mark your line, and that is the middle of your shelf. Another quick tip, as I said, I'm using these blocks. If you find out the longest measurement that you need to make these blocks, I've included all the dimensions on the plans. Cut them at the longest length first and then cut down for each individual one. These are still the same blocks that I used on these. Can he get it out? Whew. More pocket holes. I just need to drill. I should have told you that you need different size screws for different thicknesses of timber. Pretty obvious, but I know someone's going to comment. So in the Kreg jig instructions, it does come with a conversion table. You can also find this online. Just search for screw length for Kreg jig.